It's not a walkthrough, playthrough, review, anything like that. It's just me playing the game badly so you can see what it looks like. Okay, this is Battlezone on the VIC-20, being played via the Future Was 8-Bit Penultimate Plus cartridge. I'm slightly puzzled by this one because it puts the thing slightly off the screen to the left, and I don't know why it does that. I'm going to imagine that was a quirk of the original cartridge, but whatever. What gobsmacks me is Battlezone is even remotely possible and trying to approximate the graphic style, the vectors, on a VIC-20. I mean, this is a very limited piece of hardware, the VIC-20, and here it is. I'm not convinced that are these real vector graphics or are these sprites oh god, are they sprites pretending to be vector graphics? Don't know. Not that it had hardware sprites anyway, so whatever it's doing, it's what's that? I know it's not the tank, because that, oh, you bastard, I had a block in front of me. That shouldn't have been able to get me. Yeah, I think the collision detection on this is not not great. Game over. Alright, I'm just looking at me. Oh, here we go. Yeah, while it impresses me that they have made the game look like this, if I'm honest, it doesn't play too well, in that the collision detection is a bit off. If their bullets can go through that, okay, it's not going through that time. Wow, speedy. Not bad though. I don't know how I feel about this compared with, say, the Atari 2600 game, which doesn't use vectors. But does have a certain accuracy and... oh god. Gotcha. I don't know how I got away with that. I find VIC-20 graphics actually in some ways similar to, say, the Dragon 32. I'm looking at the red at the top there, and in fact it does it on the vertical lines on here as well, where it's sort of... it's not exactly interlaced, but it's using some strange effect to simulate a higher resolution than it's actually got, I think. Or if that's not what it's doing, it's a strange... it's not dot crawl, but it... oh dear. It does something odd. It's kind of a textured thing going on with the lines. I can smell my power supply. Oh, look at that volcano. It's got that nearly 40-year-old capacitor's frying sort of smell. I know there's a tank there somewhere, but I can't see it. Whoa. Wow. Yeah, that smell makes me nervous. I don't know how robust it is. You know, is this just the smell it would normally make, or is it going to explode? Don't know, but I'm gonna just keep going. Uh-oh. Oh, you bugger. I find it odd that my fire seems to come in from from the side rather than directly in front of me. Yay, I'm amazed we're still going. See what I mean about collision detection? It's dubious. Or it looks like you're going to hit and you don't, or it looks like you're not and you do. Uh-oh. Oh. You go away. Don't like them. Do not like. Looks like some kind of weird flying robot bird somehow. Ostrich or something. Don't ask me, I don't know what I'm talking about. Crap. Yeah. It is, in some ways it's very impressive. I think there's a bit of trickery going on in that I'm not convinced that these are 3D vectors, like really. They're doing something. Well, they're obviously doing something. It sort of works and it sort of doesn't. It's flawed, but it's pretty good. I like it. I'm not sure if I like it more than the 2600 game, but I do like it. Okay, thank you for watching. Hello, today's Q&A question is from Phillip Johnson, link to his channel down there. He asks, was there any time where you regularly bought or subscribed to a comic based on video game characters? I got Sonic the Comic regularly for years, for example. Short answer to that is no. By the time gaming characters were appearing in comics, I was beyond the age where I was buying that kind of comic. I was in my 20s, so I did buy comics in my 20s. What was that? Oh dear. To drop that, GPDXD. Whoops, I'm trashing the place. Yeah, I was in my 20s by then, and the kind of comics that were having video game characters in them were young kids comics, really. So yeah, around that age I was buying Marvel comics and like the imported stuff from America. Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, and some other Spider-Man that I can't remember. And then the British reprints as well. I bought a lot of comics over the years. I mean, when I was a kid, probably the first comics, I mean, there was the Beano and the Dandy, and I thought the Dandy was kind of naff, Beano was alright, and then there was Whizzer and Chips, which was quite cool, and Core. I think I got Core a couple of times, and a load of others that I don't remember, but all along that kind of line. And then I got Spider-Man for a few years, and then I went off Spider-Man and I started buying, well, actually before Spider-Man I started buying a comic called Action. Yeah, this was in the mid to late 70s. Action, it got banned actually, if I remember rightly, or forced to tone down for excessive violence. The comic strip in that really rings a bell with me was called Hookjaw. And I mean, it was, comics then were, they ripped off movies, and it was an obvious Jaws rip-off. And there was a Speedball. I'm pretty sure that was in Action as well. It was like a rip-off of Rollerball. Yeah, motorbikes, balls, sport, dangerous, blood and guts and all kinds of crap. It was a very, very violent comic, and there was some other story in it where basically all the adults had died and all that was left were kids, and it was like gang wars everywhere. Yeah, it was a violent comic. I've got a load of it on a DVD. I bought a DVD off of I don't know if it was Amazon or eBay or something, because I wanted Star-Lord. That's one that I bought later on. Strontium Dog and Robusters, bloody awesome, and Mind Wars, love them. But it's also got some episodes of Action on it. And then I bought 2000 AD for a while, and then I got into the Marvel comics again, and then I started buying Battle, and I bought that for a long while as well. Johnny Red and Charlie's War, that was good. World War One. I mean, there was a lot of World War Two comics around at the time, but there was a story in it about World War One called Charlie's War, and I probably learned more about World War One from that comic strip than anything else, because it historically was quite accurate, I think. That was a good one. Then I got into Marvel Comics, and I sort of didn't restrict myself to just Spider-Man. I was like buying Daredevil, Fantastic, not so much Fantastic Four, and not Avengers, and not X-Men, but stuff like, oh god, I was buying the pocket books, so there was Dracula, and some Micronauts. They were a thing for a bit, but that was just a toy cash-in thing, and I bought a couple of episodes of that. And Doctor Strange, bought a fair bit of him, and then Death's Head 2, whatever I could get of his, he was bloody awesome. He should have his... The thing about Death's Head 2, I think he only appeared in British Marvel Comics. Death's Head was like, I think, an American thing. He was a cyborg of some sort, and then he got killed off, and I don't know if it was S.H.I.E.L.D. or some other agency kind of built this new cyborg, and it absorbed a whole load of personalities, including Death's Head, and the Death's Head personality was so dominant that it just took over. And Death's Head 2 is just bloody awesome, and funny as hell, really good. What else? There was a spin-off of that called Death Metal. I got like the pilot comic of that, and I'm looking at them now. I'm looking at 3 boxes over there full of comics. I keep meaning to do a video just showing the comics I've got, but I never get round to it. One of these days. But as for video game comics, no. Never bought any, just because, yeah, they were, by the time they were a thing, I was a bit old for that sort of thing. Okay, hope that answers your question. If anyone else has got a question they would like answering in a video like this, just leave your question in the comments down there. Start your question with for Q&A, so I know not to just answer it in the comments, and I will eventually get round to answering it. Okay, thank you for watching.
So, is he starting some kind of cookery show? It says something here about having pastry on. Pies? I like pies.